Perhaps the most significant dilemma we face as human beings is the juxtaposition of reconciling disappointment with ourselves without shame and guilt. We have all faced the reality of our indecisions that have led to a place of sadness, despair, and even grief for ourselves. So, this is from an article that I wrote called Understanding Disappointment that was published in Best Holistic Life magazine last year. And I've never shared this with you guys, so I'm really excited to share this. I was digging through some stuff as I was unpacking. So, this came out in spring of 2021, so almost a year ago, actually. I was digging through some stuff, unpacking, and I came across this magazine. I was like, oh, I forgot I got published in that. And I decided to put it on my bookshelf. And I'm like looking at some, if you're online, you can see photos of me. One is from Bali, and the other one, I believe, is Vietnam. I don't remember. Um, I don't know if there are still there are still copies of this if you want to get one. If you go on Amazon and you search Best Holistic Life magazine, it's from spring 2021. So I'm going to read this article for you today as the podcast. And before I do that, I just want to say, of course, thank you all so much for all the support. I got amazing news the other day. I got an email, and Think Unbroken Podcast is now in the top 100 podcasts in 4 different countries, which is amazing. And we're number 110 in America. So we're growing, and that's because of you guys, and that's for everyone that listens. So thank you so much. And as usual, I will ask you, please, if you find value in today's episode, screenshot it, put it on social media, tag a friend, send it to a friend who needs to hear this today, because it matters so much. And if you will, please, on iTunes or Spotify, hit that 5 stars, leave a review. Trust me, I read them all. As many of you know, I will share and read them on the show from time to time. And in fact, I want to do that right now because I had a review come across the other day that I really loved. And so I'm going to pull that up. I'm stalling for time because my phone is being slow for some reason. So here it is. It's very simple. Just says inspiring by Dtellele. I wonder if that's supposed to say delete. Inspiring. Your dedication and vision is so inspiring. Thank you for this podcast, which has been so helpful on my journey. Much love and light. It's my honor. It's my pleasure. Thank you. And thank you for leaving a review. It means the world to me. All right, so I'm going to get into this article that I wrote titled Understanding Disappointment. Perhaps the most significant dilemma we face as human beings is the juxtaposition of reconciling disappointment with ourselves without shame or guilt. We have all faced the reality of our indecisions that have led to a place of sadness, despair, and even grief for ourselves. The hardest part about the personal growth journey is that it is a battle of you versus you. We all make promises to ourselves that we break. Trust me when I say that I have broken more promises than I could ever begin to count. Like everyone, I have faced brutal disappointment in my choices. I think about the bitter rock bottom I endured and overcame when I was deep in the spiral of the vortex almost a decade ago. I was 26, had just stepped away from a Fortune 10 company, and was figuratively standing in the middle of burning down my own home. I was 350 pounds, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, drinking myself to sleep, and having multiple panic attacks. At that moment, I realized as I stepped into the bathroom and turned towards the mirror that the wide-faced dying person in the reflection was not me, but an imposter that I had allowed to take over because I was afraid that I was allowed to be me. I was scared that, for once, I didn't have to always be so bitterly disappointed in myself. I had to ask myself the most challenging question I've ever asked. What are you going to do about it? When faced with the truth of your own choices, there's a conversation to be had about going out of your way and doing hard things that will push you into creating the life that you want to have. At some point, you're going to have to stand up for yourself, to yourself. Yes, I realize that is much more difficult than it sounds. But the truth is that if you want to create a different understanding of who you are, you will have to make a different you. We all have the potential and power within us to step into building that thing inside of us that we crave and more so deserve. People will often say, start with why. Why do you want to change, heal, grow, etc.? But I challenge to start with hope, grace, and an unwavering choice to move forward no matter what. You deserve to have the life you want to have. And unfortunately, disappointment is a part of everyone's narrative. But if you take anything with you, take this. You cannot change the past. As much as I wish I could step into a time machine and erase our mistakes, we can't. But we can allow ourselves the grace to let them go, and more importantly, learn from them. Being human entitles you the power to adapt, and in adaptation comes change, and in change comes transformation. If you want to stop disappointing yourself, then you have to stop disappointing yourself. You have the power to be great, but will you allow yourself the space to learn on the way up? I hope you will. If I know anything about healing, it's that tomorrow you don't have to be the person you are today. But today, with grace and hope, ask yourself, what am I willing to do to have the life that I want to have? I may have added extra word there. When you read the magazine, you'll see I did that. So that was from an article that I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to be asked to write last year. And that holds true. Disappointment is a part of our life. It's a part of our experience, a part of our journey. You're going to face disappointment with yourself, with others, with your community, your friends, your family, your partner, everybody. And that's hard, but you can learn through it and you can persevere through it and you can continue to keep going forward. And that's the thing, right? At the end of the day, go forward, move forward, push yourself forward, step into what is next. Don't be stopped by disappointment because I promise you, if you get stopped by disappointment, you will never have the life that you want. The next disappointment is around the corner. I hate to break it to you. You're not going to get that thing that you want today, but that doesn't mean you can't have it tomorrow or 3 years or 10 years or 15 years from now. But you're going to have to take massive ownership over what is to come. So take disappointment. And instead of letting it destroy you, look at it simply and say, I acknowledge and accept that this has happened and continue to move forward. Unbroken Nation, thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see ya.